Hey y'all, I'm Mandy, and this is Mandy in the Making. Welcome back to another What's for Dinner, where I'm going to share 3 easy, delicious meals with you. Tonight we're trying a new spin on chili. This is buffalo chicken chili. I'm really excited to give it a try. It's all in one pot and it's super easy. Because the buffalo chicken chili is so easy, we are going to do the cornbread first. This is Steven's grandmother's recipe. I've got 2.5 cups of self-rising cornmeal in this bowl. I'm going to add 2 eggs. And I'm adding a 1/2 cup of Crisco. I'm going to use my pastry cutter and just mix all of this together until it looks like coarse crumbs. Now I'm adding 2 cups of buttermilk. I'm just going to stir this with a fork until it's well blended, and then it'll be time to go into the cast iron skillet. Before we pour it into the skillet, I'm going to go in and just make sure that this is really well coated with Crisco so it doesn't stick when it comes out of the oven. I've already preheated my oven to 425. This is going to go in for 25 to 30 minutes. Got my small Dutch oven here. I'm going to add just a little bit of extra virgin olive oil. I'm going to saute my vegetables. I'm just going to let these soften for a minute or two, and then I'm going to add a little bit of butter in here with it. So if you've been around for a while, you know Steven loves garlic. The recipe doesn't call for it, but here we are. I'm going to add about a tablespoon of butter. I've got a pound of ground chicken. I'm going to add this in, and we're going to cook this until the chicken is cooked through. I'm going to add just a little salt and pepper. I've got a can of petite diced tomatoes. I did not drain it. I've got 1 can of cannellini beans. I did rinse and drain them. And lastly, to make it truly buffalo style, we're going to add some Frank's Red Hot sauce. It calls for about 1/4 cup. Now we're going to bring this up to a good simmer, and we're going to put the lid on it and let it simmer for about 10 minutes, which is perfect because that's about how much time we've got left on our cornbread.
Love some chili.
We've never had anything quite like this.
No, never have. It smells good. It smells spicy.
You got your cornbread ready.
Man.
Oh, Cole was quick on that one.
That is good. Oh, wow.
You weren't expecting that?
No, that's really good.
Yay.
Very good chili. I love this. Well, I like spicy stuff, and this is spicy. I don't think you'll think it's too spicy.
Okay. We added a little more Frank's Red Hot sauce than the recipe probably calls for. So if you don't like super spicy, you could probably dial that back a little bit.
But the flavors are really good, really balanced. It's really, really flavorful. All the veggies in there are cooked really nice. It's really good. I mean, it's really good.
I'm so excited we found a new way to do chili.
Mm-hmm.
Cole is like really happy over there, y'all.
Look how well that chili is in that meat.
Mm-hmm.
Man, that is good.
I put the camera down and took a couple of bites, y'all. It is phenomenal. To be such a simple meal with such few ingredients, I'm shocked at how great this flavor is. For tonight's meal, we are having Italian chicken pasta with a white wine sauce. This one looks really fancy, but it's really easy. We're gonna be cooking the chicken breast on the stovetop, so you wanna make sure they're pretty thin so they cook evenly and pretty quickly. I've got 3 chicken breasts here. They're kind of thick, so I'm gonna half these. I'm gonna dry these off with a paper towel. I've got about a half a cup of flour here. I'm gonna add some seasonings to that, and we're gonna dip the chicken breast in here. I've got a teaspoon of salt, a teaspoon of garlic powder, and about 1/4 a teaspoon of black pepper. And 2 teaspoons of Italian seasoning. I've got this large skillet heated to medium-high heat. I'm going to add a couple of tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil. We're going to fully cook the chicken, so probably about 4 or 5 minutes on each side before we remove it from the pan. I'm going to add to the same skillet, I'm going to add 4 tablespoons of butter. I'm going to let these soften up, and then I'm going to add our garlic. I'm going to add our 4 cloves of garlic. Next, I'm going to add our green onions and our tomatoes. Now I'm going to add a tablespoon of flour to our pan. I'm going to add a cup of white wine. If you don't want to use white wine, you could definitely use chicken stock instead. We're going to bring this up to a simmer. I'm gonna add our seasonings. I've got a teaspoon of Italian seasoning, about a half a teaspoon of salt, and about a quarter of a teaspoon of red pepper flakes. We're gonna let this simmer for just a couple more minutes before we add our cream. But now I'm gonna add in our heavy cream. I've got 1 cup. I'm gonna bring this back up to a simmer, and then I'm gonna add my Parmesan cheese. I've got about a half a cup of Parmesan cheese. Let's add that in. That's gonna thicken it up even more. Now while this simmers, I'm gonna turn it down just a little bit and let it simmer. We're gonna cook our pasta.
This looks great, babe.
It does look
Looks
great.
delicious. Wow. Oh man, look at that. Just cut it with your fork.
That's what I just said, was like, do we need knives?
Mmm. Wow.
This is what I'm waiting on. Oh, Cole likes it. Like, oh, this is a good day. Oh, and a face. They're gonna go crazy, Cole.
First of all, that chicken is incredibly tender. It's
Yeah.
not dry. You definitely don't need a knife with it for sure.
Sweet.
Now let's get this pasta. Man, that is incredible. This is too sophisticated for my taste buds. Like,
I was about to say, it's so fancy.
I mean, it's so fancy. I mean, it tastes like you would expect Italian classic pasta to taste. I mean, you've got all the wonderful flavors in there. You can definitely get the sense that it's enhanced with the wine and the Parmesan cheese and the garlic, and oh man, it's just wonderful, wonderful flavors in there.
I mean, we got 2 thumbs up and Cole's face in here. That means I need to give this a try, so I'll be back, y'all. My verdict, this is amazing. Steven said it best just a second ago. He said, this is something you would order at a restaurant.
Yeah, you find this on a menu somewhere.
It's our last meal of the week, which means it's subby supper night. Tonight, our subby supper comes from Catherine, and it's called Tangy meatballs. Catherine and her husband Mark have a little boy named Ezra who is 3 years old. They live in Mississippi. She said they're homebodies, but they really love to be outdoors as well. They love hiking and bike riding. She also loves to read, and they love to travel too. She said she's been cooking since before she was 10 years old. She really loves to do that. And this tangy meatballs recipe comes from her mom as far as she knows. She just remembers that her mom always made it, so she's just continued on the tradition. Let's get started. I'm gonna be doubling the recipe today because the original recipe calls for 1 pound of ground beef. I live with 2 boys who eat a lot, so we're gonna do 2 pounds, so everything is doubled. Just gonna season this meat a little bit. I'm gonna add salt and pepper. I'm gonna add some garlic powder. And because we love spicy things, I'm gonna add just a little bit of crushed red pepper. A half a cup of oatmeal and a half a cup of milk. Preheated the oven to 350, and she said you can make your meatballs whatever size you want. Mine are a little on the large side, so I'm going to bake them for about 30 minutes, maybe a little longer. We'll see. In our small saucepan, I'm going to just add a little bit of olive oil. We're gonna add our onions and our garlic. We're just gonna let these saute for just a minute or two before we add the rest of our ingredients for our sauce. I'm gonna add 2 6-ounce cans of tomato paste, a cup of brown sugar, 2/3 a cup of white vinegar, 2/3 a cup of water, a couple of tablespoons of soy sauce, and a couple of teaspoons of yellow mustard. I'm just gonna continue to mix this until it's no longer lumpy, and we're just gonna bring it up to a simmer. We had some Parmesan cheese left over from this week, so I'm just gonna add some of that in here. We're just draining off the fat from the meatballs. I've used 90-10, but it had a little bit of fat in the bottom, so we're gonna drain that off. I had to bake our meatballs for about 35 minutes. Now we're gonna add the sauce on top. And this is gonna go back in the oven for another 5 minutes, and then it'll be time to eat.
Oh boy. This sauce. That sauce is ridiculously good. Yeah.
Cole is all about it. He always wants the first
good.
bite, just so y'all know he takes a bite before we do, just so that he can nod at me or whatever. It's so cute.
Sweet and tangy, really rich, lots of great flavor in there. And then it's a very tender and juicy meatball.
Meat and taters, baby.
That's right, meat and taters.
I'm so happy.
Really, really, really good.
Catherine, it's a huge hit.
Yes.
Huge hit.
Big time.
All right, I'm gonna give it a try. I'll be back and give y'all my thoughts. Well, I have to agree with the boys on this one. The sauce is phenomenal. It's perfect. It is absolutely perfect. Thank you so much, Catherine, for sending this in. I hope you enjoyed this week's worth of meals. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you did. Let me know below which meal you plan on cooking first. If you haven't already, I'd love for you to join my YouTube family. Hit that red subscribe button below. Thanks, y'all, and I'll see you next time. Bye. Welcome back to another What's for Dinner, where I share sharp.
On your mark, get set.
No, oh gosh.
Go.
I'm gonna cut myself.
Don't cut yourself.
Huh?
Don't cut yourself.
You are so gonna beat
I'm
me.
winning.
Shut up.
What
You have the easier thing.
do you mean I have the easier thing?
You just do.
Making excuses.
Done.
Oh man. Hey, yours is smaller. Look at that.
That's right.
We done made a mess, but we did good.
We done good.
We done did it. What am I trying to do here?
I don't know. What are you doing?
This is my taters.
Why don't you get the peels up?
I don't know what
What are you doing?
I don't know where I'm going with this. I'll just leave them there. I feel like they're in my way. I'm gonna throw them on your side.
Rude.
Clean that mess up. All right. All right.
You dropped stuff all over the floor.
I did not do that.
That was you. That was not me.
Nope. All right, now what? We gotta cut these taters up, don't we?
Yeah.
No, we had rabbits in here.
What?
We got rabbits in here. Look at that.
Stop telling them.